Keeping the right arm tight to your body as you are swinging in the downswing makes the downswing shockingly easy. It's what we see all the top players in the world do. Look here, they've all got that right arm tight to their side, because what that does, one, improves your rotation. So the better your rotation is, you're going to have great distance and you're going to have great control of your club face and compression with your irons. So two, it's going to help you tremendously to keep your club path. If we're keeping that right arm nicely tight, the club's going to be traveling through the golf ball on a good path. And also, three, it helps with your strike location. Again, if that right arm is tight to the side, you're going to be hitting way more middle shots. So it's such an important thing to do, and I'm going to give you two different drills to do, and one of them is a really cool new training aid. So let's get straight to it and talk about how to do this. So keeping the right arm tight. Now, to be able to get this into the golf swing, like we said, we're going to get to two really good drills to do this. How you train this movement is absolutely what's going to give you the success. But before we dive into going, okay, yes, we need a drill straight off to do to keep this right arm nicely tight for all those good benefits, we need, almost got that ball, we need to know exactly what amateur golfers do and what's the big difference between right arm tight and right arm away. And this is what 90%, maybe even more than that amateur golfers do. They do absolutely everything but keep that right arm tight. So if I hit two shots here, and with these two shots, one, the right arm is going to stay away from the body, the other, it's going to stay tight. And let's have a little look at them. So here we go. Here's right arm tight. Okay. And here is right arm loose and away, so connected, so disconnecting away from that body. Okay, felt horrible that did. So let's go and have a little look at them. So if we look, let's look at the second one first, the right arm loose. So what we can see, absolutely, something that golfers do a little bit worse than what I did here is steepening the shaft. When that right arm gets away from the body, the club can way easier get out, because when that right arm gets away, you get into what we call internal right shoulder rotation, where that elbow starts to point behind. As soon as the elbow and the right arm disconnects away, that steepens the shaft. That'll make you swing over top, can make you early extend to make up for it. Awful. But if we have another little look again there, we can see lots of hand rotation going through the golf ball, early release. Why have we done that? Because we can see, again, the body has not turned through the golf ball too well. Because when that right arm is disconnected, our body, if we rotate, will result in a hugely out to in choppy across shot. So that's where when rotation slows down, that's going to make you, of course, drop the club a little bit on path to somehow make it work. I actually struck that okay, that right arm disconnecting shot, but it would have been left, it would have been really weak also. So let's look at the one where I'm keeping my right arm tight to the side, and we can see club path. Brilliant. When we're keeping that right arm tighter to the side, we're going to have that elbow go a little bit more in, which is called external shoulder rotation, which helps you shallow the golf club. Brilliant. So then that's going to help you, of course, for keeping in posture and keeping good club path. One of the key things for players to fix early extension and stay down the ball is to have the club shallow, and that is getting that right arm kind of tucked into your side. So then get the body turning. Look at the release pattern is way more passive, which is brilliant. That's going to help me control this face compared to the other. And of course, my rotation quality was a lot better as a result, because it's ultimately, you could even view it as in simple terms, it's kept your arms and your body working together. Brilliant. So, okay, we know keeping that right arm tight is so beneficial. So let's talk about here a couple drills to keep this right arm tight, to get straight into how to fix it. Okay, so drill number one, get yourself either a head cover or it could be a glove, for example. And what I want you to do with this, tuck it underneath your trail arms, your right arm here for a right-handed golfer. Now, this is going to immediately give you feedback, and feedback is so essential if we want to make a change in the swing. So if I get this arm disconnected away from me at any point in my swing, it drops. So that's where, for absolutely every single golfer, they want to keep it connected in that downswing. Now, a lot of players out on tour will have their right arm away from them. Let's say Jack Nicklaus back in the day had his right arm out away from him, but he quickly got it back in front. I don't find that very common of a thing for many golfers to actually get. see the best players in the world do it, but I always here on YouTube want to give you the easiest way to do it, the way that doesn't require you to beat balls every single day to be able to get. That's why if you can keep this underneath your arm, even in the backswing, it's going to give you a greater chance to keep it nice and tight to you in the downswing as well. So even though I'm saying keep it tight, don't be tense with it. So don't really try and tense it like as much as you can. That's going to make you stiff. That's going to really lower your club head speed. So if you can keep it nicely underneath the arm, but keep your arms nice, light and loose. And if we keep it there underneath this arm all the way through the golf ball, lovely. So there we go. That's going to keep it nice and tight. Very self-explanatory. Just getting a head cover absolutely underneath your arm, and then hit some balls, irons, driver, wedges. It doesn't matter, any club. Got the ball that time. That's going to be great. And what I love with this as well, it gives you a very distinct feeling. So this is where you could use glove, you can use the head cover. But here's a cool thing as well. Grab your shirt, tuck your shirt underneath your right arm, because you could do this on the golf course, and it's actually legal to do. Now you're doing that drill, but just with your shirt. So a drill you can only not do on the course if it's something that's external to you. So that's where if it is, let's say, part of your clothing, like a shirt, you can tuck that under. We see so many of the top players in the world. I remember Justin Rose back in the day used to tuck both underneath his armpits just so then he got connection of his arms. Of course, for us, let's just work on keeping this right arm nice and tucked on the course. Tuck it in, that shirt. Now you can do it and keep it tucked, which will then keep it tight. Great, so you can work on this at the range, you can work on this on the golf course too. So ultimately, you can be working on it always. That means you can make this change really quickly into your golf swing by just keeping it nice and tight. So, okay, let's get to the other part here. So guys, like I said, there is a training aid that has just come out on the market that works on this area of the golf swing perfectly. And it is this, the TRS slider. So TRS, you've probably seen some of their ball training aids before out there, or their tour stick they used to have. They still do, but they teamed up with legendary swinger Robert Rock. So Robert Rock, absolutely, especially here in the UK and Europe, he is an absolute legend. If there is anyone you want to model your golf swing off, Robert Rock is the guy to model your swing off. Absolutely amazing there. Famous for not wearing his hat, but more famous for how he swings and beating Tiger back in the day in a playoff. So absolutely unbelievable player. And what Robert does very well, he keeps his right arm nicely tucked to that body. He has no crazy movement out, no excessive that right arm getting out in front of him. He's a legendary swinger of the club. So that is where this will stop you from having that right arm get untucked and out away from you, because you've got your right arm tied here to this extra little piece that's kind of like a belt that ties around the bottom of your rib cage, and it stops you can see right here from having any excessive movement out. So it keeps that right arm nice and tight to your side, and it just gives you a lovely feeling of chest rotation. It's probably at the moment absolutely by far my favorite training aid. I absolutely love it. So gives you a really good feel. And what I also love about this is because it stops having any excessive arm movement. If your arms get, let's say you're someone who's an overswinger, your arms would really detach away from you. You can get a little bit away from your pivot. This will stop the arms from having too much of excessive movement. It makes you complete your turn, and makes it absolutely, if you're going to get up to the top of the good backswing, you've got to rotate, you've got to turn to get up there. This as well helps with that. So many things: chest rotation, right arm mechanics, backswing turn. Lovely. I just absolutely love this training aid. It's awesome. And for what we're talking about keeping the right arm tight, it's essentially exactly what this does. So good thing is you can move it back and forward as well. It doesn't lock it in place in its kind of sliding movement with that arm, so you can still get that right arm traveling in front as well nicely. Doesn't keep it behind your pivot. Awesome. Really, really good one. And guys, here's the thing. TRS haven't given me this. I've gone and bought this myself. This is no product placement or anything. As soon as I bought this, which was essentially for my own game, I bought this for. I loved it so much, I thought I've got to have this and talk about this in some videos, because you guys are going to really benefit from this. So TRS, absolutely great. So many things there. Again, this isn't an endorsement of any stretch. I mean, if TRS want to, absolutely, you know where to come for me, but absolutely brilliant. So pick up one of these if you want to keep that right arm tight also. So now we've got those good feels from either one of these drills. we can keep that right arm more tight, which keeps that body nicely turning through the shot, gives you nice club face control, nice striking location, good shallowing. God, I can go on and on and on. Full stop, you got to do it. So if you enjoyed this video, click that like button if you want more golf instruction, just like this. Hit the subscribe button, hit that bell button too to be notified every time I put out a video.